Hi, can any of you tell me what this means? I'll settle for an intelligent question.
Miss, I have a question. What is any of this good for and when should we ever use it?
Let me show you. Pi. This is a mathematical constant that represents the ratio of the circle's circumference to its diameter. And this is just the beginning. It's endless. It keeps on going without ever repeating. And in this string of decimals is the combination or the start of every other single numbers. Your birthday, combination to your locker, your phone numbers, it's all in there somewhere. And if you ever convert those decimals into letters, you would have every other word that could ever exist. So the very first syllable you spoke, the name of your crush, your life story from beginning to end, everything you say or do, everything in this world or this infinite possibilities lies in a single. What it's good for? Well, that will be up to you. In every field, work, medicine, law, engineering, the earth, the universe, and every mundane task that you do, there is math. There are rules.
Wait, Miss. So you're saying that math is important in medicine? Isn't it just about patients, doctors, and treatments? I'm a nursing student, so I'm a bit skeptical.
From ancient magic and religion to today's tools like MRIs, X-rays, ultrasounds, math helps us understand how the human body works, and it guides us in creating effective treatments. Medical techniques like inspection, palpation, percussion, and auscultation rely on calculations. These methods, refined through experiments, help healthcare workers assess patient conditions accurately.
Wow, as a student nurse, math can really help us with our patients.
Well, doesn't stop there. Gordon's functional health pattern, RM self-care, and Maslow's hierarchy of needs were all models that were used using math to assess patients and diagnosis.
So does math play a role in administering drugs, procedures, and surgeries?
Definitely. Drug dosages depend on age, weight, metabolism, and more. Without math, it would be impossible to calculate accurate dosages. Pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics also use math to track how drugs move through the body and how it affects the body. In surgery, geometry and trigonometry help plan procedures such as determining the angles and cuts for implants, while in radiation therapy, math ensures precise doses to target cancer cells while protecting healthy tissues. And here's something interesting. Genetics also relies on math. Genetic research uses statistical methods and computational models to study genes and diseases. Algorithms like BLAST and FASTA analyzes DNA sequences, while techniques such as linear regression help identify genetic links to diseases. Mathematical models also support personalized medicine by optimizing treatments based on genetic profiles. Mendelian genetics uses probability to predict inheritance patterns, while population genetics applies mathematical equations to study allele frequencies and evolution. Even genetic mutations are analyzed through math to understand their occurrences, and mathematical models play a crucial role in developing treatments in advance by predicting the efficacy and safety of therapeutic interventions. Pharmacogenomics uses mathematical models to analyze the interactions between the drugs and genetic variants, optimizing drug dosages and minimizing adverse effects. Computational models such as quantitative systems pharmacology or QSP integrate genetic, molecular, and clinical data to simulate this disease progression and treatment outcomes. These These mathematical approaches enable the development of personalized medicine, where treatments are tailored to an individual's genetic profile, improving efficacy and reducing risks. Another example for today of how math is applied in the modern world and how it can help us is simply within our environment. According to Roulston, mathematics has been responsible for so much in terms of our understanding and prediction of weather and climate. This contribution is perhaps the most obvious in the context of technology behind the observations and the simulations. Bayesian statistics, numerical techniques, scholastic processes, probabilistic methods, and optimization theory, to name but a few.
Wow, we haven't really thought about that, miss. How is that possible?
Well, weather and climate models are based on the Navier-Stokes equations and moist thermodynamics. So these insights were obtained by applying systematic approximations to the Navier-Stokes while retaining important properties such as conservation loss of energy and potential vorticity by Roulston. Math saves our lives every day in the way we live our lives and how we can use the daily necessities we have now. But did you know that math also quite literally can save our lives during disasters?
But how can math stop natural disasters?
Fortunately, not. But math can predict when a disaster might occur. Before I say how, let me explain a few concepts first. Risks, hazards, and vulnerability. Risk is a probability of harmful consequences arising from the interactions between hazards and vulnerability. While hazards are human-induced events that can cause damage such as earthquakes and floods, and vulnerability are the susceptibility of a community or environment to harm. It includes factors such as poor infrastructure quality, population density, and social-economic conditions. Now, where does math come in from here, you may ask? Well, there's one simple answer for that, dear students. It's statistics. So, government organizations that deal with environmental disasters, like PAGASA, utilize what's called a probabilistic risk assessment, or PRA, to estimate the likelihood of a natural disaster occurring in a certain area. In a PRA, multiple scenarios are generated, and by using statistical methods, organizations can then estimate what may happen, further prepare for the community, for evacuation, and still have time to educate them on the do's and don'ts that can help lead to a greater chance of survival.
By using the PRA, they know what type of hazard may occur, the community's vulnerability, and the risks involved.
Yes, exactly. But that's not the only time where statistics is used to predict natural disasters. Let's get a little specific and look into, shall we say, floods. Hydrologists use different statistical methods to determine flood dynamics or how often floods occur in a specific area. So there are two models. The first is the stochastic methods or the stochastic models, while two is the deterministic models. For now, let's look into the stochastic model, and under this model is what's called flood frequency analysis. So the flood frequency analysis is the means by which flood discharge magnitude is related to the probability of its being equal or exceeded in any year or to its frequency of recurrence or return period. In this analysis, hydrologists gather annual key flow data or the maximum instant use stream flow values recorded at a particular site for the entire water year. Then they calculate statistical information such as the mean and standard deviation to create frequency distribution graphs. And then they also choose which range from dumbbell, normal, log normal, exponential, Weibull, person R to log Pearson. Then once they do that, they can then make flood frequency curves. These graphs then help provide data as to when a flood may occur. Do you have any more questions? Okay everyone, that's a wrap for today. Now we've just covered how mathematics
pamasahin na lang to. Hindi na makakita ng mayaman.
Sounds like someone's having problems financially. Well, since we're a break, guys, let's talk about something regular. Gastos. If you know how to manage your money well, you won't be end up getting broke by mid-term or mid-month. So, also to prevent financial headaches. First, we need to categorize your expenses. So we have food, the fixed expenses, and the variable expenses. So, fixed and variable expenses, una, is fixed expenses. Ito yung mga hindi nag-change every month. Just like cars, installments, payments, and insurance. However, variable expenses, ito yung nag-change every month, such as your electricity, your entertainment, groceries, as well as travel. Let's say my allowance comes 4,000 per month. If you break it down into fixed and variable expenses, mas madali mo matrack kung saan napupunta yung pera mo. And dapat needs una bago yung wants. Kasi para hindi mabutas ang bulsa.
Mama, that makes sense. Pero bakit parang lagi short pa rin ako pag malapit matapos yung month?
You're relatable. That's where budgeting comes in. So, ang pinaka-effective or pinaka-easy pero effective siya is yung 50-30-20 rule. So, 50% for your needs, 30% for your wants, and then 20% mo ay yung for your debt, repayment, as well as your savings. So for yung needs mo, ito yung mga essentials like rent, yung food, transportation, as well as yung utilities. And then for your wants naman, yung mga fun stuff like dining out, shopping, as well as entertainment. And then lastly, yung savings and yung debt repayment, ito yung emergency funds, yung mga savings, as well as yung mga loan payments. So if you get 5,000 a month, you divide it like this. So 2,500 yung needs, 1,500 yung wants, and then 1,000 for your savings.
So, pwede pala akong gumastos sa wants pero makakapulipon pa rin?
Exactly. And so budgeting, it isn't about limiting yourself, but it also involves making smart choices. And speaking of smart choices, let's talk about your future savings. So to calculate how much you can save, here's a simple formula. So total income minus total expenses is equal to your savings. Now, kung gusto mong i-predict magkano yung maiipon mo in the future, so your current savings plus your monthly savings times the number of months, yun yung future savings mo.
Grabe, malaki pala ng pwede kong maipon.
Ito ba? Kaya, importante ang money management. So, kung may disiplina na yun, secure the future later.
Sige na nga, I admit, math is actually useful sa real life.
True, math isn't just numbers on a page. It's a tool for financial freedom. So now, who's ready to start budgeting like a pro?
Hey, Mom, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Wait lang!
BMW na po? Yan, BMW ane, ikaw na anak.
Ba? Ano? Mat lang naman.
Now, who's ready to learn math?
Grabe naman.
Siguro sa college.